All right, we are live in beautiful, sunny Florida. And today, fight fans, we're going to be breaking down UFC Fight Night 137 in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Anders versus Santos now. And what's funny, it started as Jimmy Manuwa versus Glover Teixeira, two actual light heavyweights. And now, through various injuries and replacements, we have two middleweights fighting at light heavyweight. But it's two top 15 middleweights, in my opinion. Um, I think Anders versus Santos is an amazing fight and definitely deserves to be a main event of a Brazil fight night. I like it a lot. I think it should be a good fight, and we'll get to that fight at the end, of course. But we do have some things to go through. So last week was a good one for me, man. I did profit. I won 4.43 units. I went 4 out of 6 on my bets. I added 2 after my video. I added, unfortunately, 2.4 units on Mark Hunt. That lost. I added 2.5 units to the Ramazan Ameev points handicap. I think I told you guys I was planning on betting that anyway. But I put 2.5 units on that at minus 250. That was a unit. So out of the 2 bets I added there, I did lose 1.4 units. But I did win my 3.5 unit play on Jan Blachowicz. I lost 3 units on Arlovsky, but I won both of my big parlays. I won my 5 unit max bet parlay on Taisumov and Hablov. And then I won the 4 unit 3-legger of Peter Yan, Rustam Kabulov, and Alexei Kunchenko. So it was plus 4.3 units. Happy to be on track, of course. I want to see how long I can keep a win streak going, man. It seems I'll always have like a 2 or 3 win 3 card streak, and then shit just hits the fan out of nowhere. But we're gonna try to be consistent. I have 5 plays this week. I really like my plays. I think they're I think I played this card smartly, and I want to hear your guys' take on my plays because I'm happy with the lines I got. I'm happy with my plays. I feel like I'm taking a smarter approach these days, and I think it'll pay off over the long term because we all know it's been a rough year for me. But man, I'm down to keep doing this, keep getting better. 23 years young. Let's fucking roll, man. So speaking of rolling, we got this big announcement for my channel. So I don't know, I'm sure not all of you saw it on Twitter, but me and Justin of UFC Bro Picks will be collaborating on both of our channels. We will be doing 2 podcasts a week together, 2 podcasts per card together. We are going to be doing the breakdowns, the fight predictions on Justin's channel, his podcast, UFC Bro Picks. I'm now the official new co-host for UFC Bro Picks. Go subscribe to Justin's channel if you haven't. He's getting up there in subs, man. He's about to pass me up. He's the man. He puts out good content, and I'm looking forward to working with him. I've probably been friends with Justin now for might even be over 3 years, man. So long time coming. I'm glad I finally have a consistent co-host, a real good guy. And I highly recommend you go subscribe to his channel and stay subscribed to mine. Don't ditch me just because I'm not going to be doing the fight predictions on my channel. Don't worry, there's going to be a lot of shit coming to this channel. I'm just happy we're going to be doing these videos together. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. So the fight predictions are going to be on his channel, his podcast, UFC Bro Picks. So on this channel, we are going to be starting a new podcast. It is going to be called The Fight Game Podcast. The Fight Game. I like that name a lot. I think it fits in all aspects, and that's really what we're going to be talking about is the fight game in all aspects, man. So on that podcast, me and Justin are going to be recapping every single UFC card. We're going to be starting with UFC 229. The first episode of this new podcast is going to be recapping that card. We are actually going to be having some guests here and there for these podcasts, but thought we'd go big for this first episode for the new podcast. So me and Justin are going to be having Dan from Best Fight Picks, Half the Battle. Dan Levy is going to come on. So me, Justin, Dan Levy are going to come on, recap UFC 229 after that card. So I mean that's awesome right there. I'm really looking forward to this show, man. So That podcast, The Fight Game, is going to stay right here on this channel. That's going to be recaps, MMA news, shit talking, etc. And then the fight predictions, the beforehand breakdowns, they're going to be over on Justin's channel, and we're going to be doing all this together, man. If you don't like Justin, I'm sorry. I know some of you don't like Justin. It is what it is. Maybe you'll grow to like him. He's a good dude, and he knows his shit for MMA, and he's passionate like me, man. That's really what I appreciate, is just passion for the sport. That's what it all is about. We watch each other's YouTube videos. We watch these fights just for the true passion we have in our hearts for this sport. We all share the same thing. So, and that kind of goes out towards some of the bullies on Twitter these days. Just we all have the same passion, man. Why do you got to kick people while they're down? I just don't get the whole Twitter bully thing, but it is what it is. I'm excited to get this going with Justin. I've talked about it enough, man. We got to break down this Sao Paulo card because I got to get to work in about an hour and 15 minutes. So excuse me if I try to blow through some of these, man. But yeah, big things coming. That's going to all be starting after UFC 229, guys. So there it is. So we're just going to break down the Sao Paulo card, man. So I got 5 plays. First fight of the night. It is it's my biggest play of the night, man, and it's Livia Hinata Souza -800 taking on Alex Chambers +550. The line is absolutely it's right for Livia Souza. She should be around -800, maybe even -1000. I put her in some parlays. I put her in some parlays at -500. I got her in a two parlays, one 4.4 units. Livia Souza with my boy Zalet. Or I just spoiled it for you guys, but I got Livia Souza in 2 parlays, a 4.4 unit 2-leg parlay and a 3.2 2-leg parlay there. Basically, man, Alex Chambers, I'm sure I'm not saying anything new here, but Alex Chambers is probably the most garbage fighter in the UFC right now. I mean, she's approaching 40 years old. Her only win in the UFC was Kylan Curran, who's no longer in the UFC, and she was getting her ass beat in that fight. So if we're being honest, she's 5-4. She's coming into Livia Souza's home country. Livia Souza's an absolute beast. She has all kinds of grappling credentials. She's a serious striker too. She stopped chicks with body kicks in Invicta, Deanna Bennett. Livia Souza is a serious fighter, man, and she's going to breeze right through Alex Chambers. I have no problem paying the juice on her whatsoever in these parlays. So, and funny enough, you can actually go check my record. I'm 6-0 on my last 6 parlays. So I think I found like my groove a little bit with those. So we're gonna keep it rolling. Official prediction: I'm gonna say Livia Souza submits Alex Chambers. I'll say in the first round. Just cuts through her like butter. Takedown, take the back, and make her tap her nap. So yeah, I got the -800 favorite. Huge surprise. Moving on to the next fight, we got Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos -470 taking on Luigi Vendramini +375. Zaleski, he is one of my favorite fighters in the UFC right now, and I am so disappointed that the Bilal Muhammad fight isn't happening because I was going to go big on Zaleski dos Santos there. We might have even got plus money on this guy once again against Bilal Muhammad. If not, I mean, I don't think I would have gotten anything worse than -150. But Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos is he's a crazy man. He's everything a fight fan looks for. He's super entertaining, and he puts it all together cleanly, man. I don't want to say he's even wild. He's so aggressively technical, which makes him fun to watch, but he's still staying technical while doing it. And I love this guy, man. I think he's super fun to watch, and I thought he was going to knock out Bilal Muhammad. If there's any knock on Zaleski, I mean, I can give 2 knocks on Zaleski right now. Is he does leave himself open sometimes. If you're going to be aggressive like that, you're going to be left open sometimes. So yeah, he is left open to get hit sometimes. Max Griffin hit him a few times, and the wrestling, his wrestling isn't of the elite by far. Like a Colby Covington or a Kamaru Usman, let's be real, they would ragdoll Zaleski. But we got the newcomer, the 22-year-old Luigi Vendramini here, and Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos is probably going to rip through this poor kid. Looking at a fight doesn't go the distance. It's only minus 185. That's not bad at all, in my opinion. It covers you in case Luigi Vendramini catches Zaleski. And it covers you in case Zaleski gets a finish, and that's probably what's going to happen here. I don't see this kid lasting 3 rounds with the insane pace that Zaleski puts on. Not only that, this kid Vendramini is coming up from 155 pounds, short notice. It's just it's all the recipe for disaster for this guy Luigi. But I think Luigi might have a bright future. We'll see what happens if he comes out here and goes 3 rounds with Zaleski. I think that in its own right would be a big accomplishment. So I don't think it happens though. I'm going to go with my boy Zaleski, of course, for sure. One of my favorite fighters in the UFC, maybe might be my favorite fighter in the UFC right now. And I do indeed have him in one of those parlays with Livia Souza. 4.4 units on Zaleski, Livia Souza at minus 218. So yeah, pretty high on the 2 biggest favorites of the card. No surprise there. But moving on to the next fight, man, we got Hector Lombard minus 125 taking on Thales Leites plus 105. I like Lombard here, man. This is I've actually been like eyeing this fight for a while now, just because I feel like I have such a confident gut pick here. I just feel like it screams Hector Lombard KO all day long, but how can you trust Hector Lombard? He's 40 years old. He's been knocked out a lot recently. He hasn't won fights recently. Even in his last fight where he knocked the guy out in the first round, he still found a way to lose the fight. Yeah. So Hector Lombard, he was the underdog. I believe he opened the underdog. Let me recheck that real quick. I want to say, yeah, Lombard opened at plus 125. If you got that plus 125 on Lombard, I think that's a good bet, man. I wouldn't pay juice on Hector Lombard, so at minus 125, I unfortunately have to pass. But if you get plus money, I don't blame it at all. The way Thales Leites lost his last fight to Jack Hermanson, that was a huge red flag, man. I mean, he had that fight won. Jack was seriously hurt, and then all of a sudden, Jack just started beating on that chin, and Thales couldn't take him, man. They're both old men, but I kind of feel like Lombard doesn't have a great chin by any means, but I feel like at this point he might have the better chin, and I feel like he definitely hits a hell of a lot harder than Thales Leites. So I feel like if Thales Leites tries to take the Sam Alvey approach and he just runs around and leg kicks Lombard, I feel like Lombard will eventually catch him that way. I think Thales Leites needs to wrestle and get this down to the mat where he's such a good grappler. But the thing is, Hector Lombard he's such a big hulking dude and obviously has great wrestling credentials. I'm not sure Thales Leites can take down Hector Lombard. I mean, I feel like he won't be able to take down a fresh Lombard, but if he gets it to the later rounds, like 2 or 3, then he could probably take down a gassed Lombard, especially if Lombard's running around just throwing spamming haymakers over and over. He's going to gas for sure, but I feel like Hector's been a little smarter about conserving his gas tank lately, so I feel like Lombard is going to be able to avoid the takedowns, stuff him, let Thales try to do his thing, and Hector's eventually going to land a big shot and put the guy away. So I'll go with Hector Lombard, late first round KO. Got to pass on it, but I will have some Hector in DraftKings, that's for sure. And I'm pretty sure these DraftKings salaries should be dropping almost any minute by now, I would assume. Let me just check. What if I can break the DraftKings salaries right here on the video? That'd be awesome. Let's see. Speaking of DraftKings, shout out. Definitely hit up DraftKings, guys, man. They're doing a couple contests for this card where you can actually win tickets to UFC 229. there's still some spots in those contests. I'm entering in one, so we'll see. Maybe I'll win some tickets to 229. But no, salaries aren't out yet. But yeah, I got Hector Lombard first round KO. So moving on to the next fight, we got Gillian Robertson minus 130 taking on Mayra Bueno plus 110. This is a tough one, man. This is like pick'em to me, but I guess it's a coin flip in my opinion. They're both really good grapplers. I'm looking forward to this fight when it hits the mat, and I'm sure it definitely will hit the mat. I don't think this will be a case where the two grapplers neutralize and they end up striking for 3 rounds, and I hope that doesn't happen because neither of them are all that great on the feet, but I hope they grapple, and if they do grapple, it's tough to say, especially with Gillian Robertson training now at American Top Team. It's tough to say, but I think Gillian might be a little more technical, but I feel like I want to pick Mayra Bueno just because the fight's in Brazil and she's the underdog. So I don't know. It's tough to call. I actually like them both. I think Mayra Bueno has a future in the UFC, but I'll go with Mayra Bueno. I'll say she wins this fight via split decision. I didn't look into it a whole lot like some of the others, but yeah, I'll go Mayra Bueno split decision. Passing from it altogether, though. Sergio Moraes minus 300 taking on Ben Saunders plus 250. I think Sergio Moraes should definitely be the favorite here, but minus 300, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think Ben Saunders definitely offers some problems. I feel like striking on the feet, it's going to be close. I feel like if they end up striking for 3 rounds, it's going to be razor thin. Sergio Moraes, obviously, and Ben Saunders is a great grappler, but Sergio Moraes, obviously, that's where he wants it. That's where he's the man. He's a great grappler, better than Ben Saunders. Don't let that rubber guard fool you. Sergio Moraes is definitely a higher level grappler than Ben Saunders. I feel like Sergio, when he goes in for those takedowns, I feel like Ben Saunders is going to be able to make him pay for him, if anything. So I actually think at plus 250, Ben Saunders might be a little live here, but I'm going to go with Sergio Moraes. I think he probably edges the striking, probably edges everything by a little bit, probably holds Ben down a couple times, hits him with some ground and pound for a couple minutes of each round. Who knows? I'll go with Sergio Moraes, 29-28 unanimous decision. So moving on to the heavyweights, we got Augusto Sakai minus 265 taking on Chase Sherman plus 225. I got Sakai here. I think he's definitely rightfully favored, and I think the line is right in this one. Chase Sherman's really bad, guys, and the thing is, he used to have a good chin, but I don't think he does anymore. That Shamil Abdurahimov shit was really embarrassing. I'm surprised Chase let him starch him like that. I mean, Shamil couldn't even do that to Arlovsky, but so with Sakai, the guy is he's nothing special, but he's a big dude. I mean, I think he might even be, I think he's bigger than Chase Sherman. I know they're probably around the same height, like 6'4", but I mean, frame wise, Sakai is I'm pretty sure he's a full-bodied 265. I think that might make a difference. I just feel like he's probably more technical on the feet. I'll always say it. Chase Sherman has good leg kicks, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. I feel like Sakai will probably box him up. He'll probably even take Sherman down. So I got Sakai. No bet, though. I don't feel like he's worth it at minus 265. So I'll say Sakai wins 30-27. And if anything, I think where the value really lies on this fight, I think it might be boring and sloppy for the most part. So the fight to go the distance is plus 220. So I know it's heavyweights and you don't want to bet those fights to go the distance, but plus 220 might be worth a stab with these two sloppy, slow gentlemen. So moving on to the next fight, we got Ryan Spann minus 190 taking on Louise KLB Henrique plus 165. First thing that stands out to me in this fight is go look at Luis Henrique's Instagram. The guy is in phenomenal shape for this fight, man. He dropped down to 205. He really looks good, but I don't know if that's going to help out his skills all that much because I never really thought the guy was all that great. Ryan Spann is a guy who definitely has problems of his own, but I feel like Ryan Spann, I just feel like he's more athletic. He's stronger. He hits harder. He has better striking for sure. Henrique probably needs takedowns here. I think it's kind of Ryan Spann knockout or Luis Henrique submission. As for who I think wins this fight, I guess I got a slightly edge Ryan Spann, but at the current betting odds, and there's a lot of money that came in on Henrique recently. He was plus 200 last night, plus 165 right now. I definitely understand that money that came in on Henrique, and I think there might even still be value at plus 165, but gun to my head, got to go with Ryan Spann here. I think he probably knocks out Luis Henrique, and this is a bet for me. I got 4.3 units on this fight to not go the distance at minus 215. That line is now at minus 350, so I beat that one by a little bit for sure. So 4.3 units on Henrique Spann to not go the distance at minus 215. And my official pick will be Ryan Spann first round knockout. So moving on to the next fight, we got Francisco Trinaldo minus 250 taking on Evan Dunham plus 210. And I like Trinaldo here, man. I think he definitely gets this done. When it comes to on the feet, I think Trinaldo has Dunham definitely outmatched. I feel like Trinaldo is a much superior kickboxer. Dunham, he's a very tough guy, man. He's got really good cardio. He's got big heart. The fact that he survived that fight against Beneil Dariush was impressive, but I don't know, man. I feel like this is a tough one for him. I don't think he's going to be able to take down Trinaldo. If anything, that's his path. He's got to take down Trinaldo, but I don't know if he can do it. I think Trinaldo, especially in Brazil, man, he's still winning. I mean, really, look at who Trinaldo's really only lost to. Trinaldo, he lost to Kevin Lee, and I want to say he lost to someone else recently, right? Oh, yeah, James Vick. James Vick and Kevin Lee are no slouches. Those are top 10 guys, man. And say what you want about James Vick getting knocked out by Justin Gaethje. James Vick is a ridiculously talented individual. I think with James Vick, it was just kind of he was cutting way too much weight, and it was affecting his chin. So I'd like to see James Vick up to 170 pounds, but I don't know, man. This matchup between Evan Dunham and Francisco Trinaldo, it just screams Francisco Trinaldo easy 30-27 outstriking to me. So yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. And Francisco Trinaldo happens to be the other half of the other Livia Hinata Souza parlay I have. So I have 3.2 units on Trinaldo and Livia Souza at minus 161. So moving on to the next fight, we got Charles Oliveira minus 370 taking on Christos Giagos plus 310. We usually know the deal with Do Bronx Oliveira. He usually subs his opponent, or his opponent beats his ass and finishes them. Unfortunately, doesn't go the distance, isn't really playable. At plus 310, there might be value in Giagos. I feel like maybe he can go in there and knock out Oliveira, but most likely Oliveira goes in for a takedown, gets it, takes the back there shortly after. Probably going to go down like the Giagos Gilbert Burns fight, most likely. But yeah, I don't care about this one too much. I don't think Giagos has a very high ceiling, and two Bronx Oliveira fights are usually pretty predictable. So I think he subs Giagos first round. So Oliveira first round sub. Obviously got to pass on it, but I'll see how much Oliveira I can get in DraftKings because he probably does get a first-round finish. So moving on to the next fight, we got Marina Rodriguez minus 115 taking on Random Marcos minus 105. This was the last fight I looked into for this card, and boy, am I glad I looked into it because I just bet it. I put 2.5 units on Marina Rodriguez at plus 100. I think she's a very talented striker. Really good in the clinch. I mean, this girl is a Muay Thai expert, guys, and she's big for the division. She's mean. I love these mean Brazilian girls. I think she goes out here and definitely outstrikes Random Marcos. I think Marcos has really nothing for her on the feet. And another thing about Marina Rodriguez, the girl, she's a winner. She might not be facing the best competition, but it really is not easy to go 11-0 in mixed martial arts, and that's what she did. She's a winner. Obviously, that first L is right around the corner for sure. I mean, and no one's immune from it. But I don't think it happens here, man. Randa Marcos, obviously her path to victory here is the takedowns, but Marina Rodriguez is, I've seen her sub girls off her back, and I've seen Randa Marcos take down girls and get submitted. The Courtney Casey fight really blows my mind. I remember being really confident in Randa Marcos against Courtney Casey, and she took her down, and Randa Marcos found a way to lose against the girl that always finds a way to lose. She lost to Courtney Casey. So I don't know. I feel like Randa going in for the takedowns, I feel like Marina's going to make her pay for it in the clinch. And if Randa happens to get her down, I feel like Marina, she's very technical on the bottom too. I mean, that's not her strong suit by any means, but she's technical and she knows what she needs to do. She knows how to throw up submissions to be able to get back up to her feet, and she knows how to throw submissions to sub girls. So I like Marina Rodriguez, and I kind of like her wherever the fight goes. Honestly, man, we're talking an 8-6 fighter versus an 11-0 fighter. I know there's the whole thing of level of competition, but I like it here, man. And even if it's close, and Randa Marcos's fights, a lot of them do tend to be close. I feel good knowing I have the Brazilian judges on my back with Marina here. So 2.5 units on Marina Rodriguez to win 2.5 units plus 100. Moving on to the next fight, we got Renan Barão minus 130 taking on Andre Ewell plus 110. I know Justin, my boy, he bet Ewell. I can't really follow him on that because Andre Ewell, watching him on tape, especially in his wins, it looks like he has good striking, and he does have good striking in my opinion. He's a huge dude for the division, so he has a lot of length. He is athletic, and he is a good striker, but I just don't know how good he is. It's really a red flag, the fact that he has, 4 losses in the past 3 years. And even as shot that Barão is, I feel like he's still never seen anything like Renan Barão. So this might be another coin flip fight for me, man, and I'm gonna definitely pass on this one. But the thing with Barão, man, I feel like he's definitely one of the most shot guys in the UFC at this point, and it's like a huge combination of things. I've probably talked about this so many times before, but the consistent 135-pound weight cuts, another one that he's doing right here. Those 135-pound cuts are killing him. The life-changing beatings from TJ Dillashaw, that definitely had an effect on him. And I feel like USADA has a little bit to do with it too. So I feel like the combination of those 3 things really just hurt Renan Barão. But this is a winnable fight for him, especially in Brazil. I feel like if he can beat Felipe Nova in Brazil, why can't he beat this newcomer Andre Ewell, who has lost 4 times in the past 3 years in Brazil? So it's a really tough pick for me, man. I kind of don't want to pick Renan Barão in 2018, so I'm not going to pick Renan Barão in 2018. I'm going to go with Andre Ewell to come out here and outstrike Renan Barão. I'm going to go with Andre Ewell, 29-28, unanimous decision, even in Brazil. Don't want to pick Barão in 2018. Not going to do it. So I got Ewell, but no bet. Good luck to Justin. Sam Alvey, minus 325, taking on Antonio Rogerio Nogueira, plus 265. Yeah, Sam Alvey should probably be a decent-sized favorite here. Nogueira is another guy who's very shot, but for different reasons. This guy's just been around forever, man. I mean, we're talking about close to a 2-decade career at this point for old Little Nog. I'm surprised he's still hanging around. This one's tough. I feel the Patrick Cummings fight, that was a good fight for Nogueira, mostly just because Pat Cummins is terrible on the feet and has no chin, and I don't think he wasn't going to par very well taking down Nogueira and dealing with his jiu-jitsu. That was just a perfect fight for Nogueira. This one's not. Nogueira is going to have a tough time boxing with Sam Alvey. I do think he's a lot slower these days. He's definitely slowed down a lot, and Sam Alvey's not the most fast technical guy either, but I don't know, man. I feel like Sam Alvey is going to catch him on the button at some point. Nogueira, I'm going to go out on the limb and say Nogueira outstrikes Sam Alvey until Sam Alvey lands the shot, the fight-ending blow. So I'm going to say Nogueira wins the first round and then gets knocked out in the second. I'll go Sam Alvey second round KO. I don't think I've looked at the doesn't go the distance. Doesn't go the distance minus 245. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm good with that. But yeah, I got Sam Alvey via knockout second round. I feel like Nogueira is going to do well until he gets caught by the guy who catches a lot of people. So moving on to the next fight, we got Alex Cowboy Oliveira minus 400 taking on Carlo Peter Soli plus 325. I took the shot on Carlo Peter Soli. I put 2 units on him at plus 330 to win 6.60 units. So that's a big one for me. I'm definitely taking a bold approach here, but I don't understand the line, honestly, man. I feel like Alex Oliveira, especially in Brazil, he probably should be favored, but I don't see why he should be minus 400 in this spot. Maybe if he was minus 140, minus 150, I guess I would understand that, but I just don't get this at all. I feel like he definitely leaves himself open a lot on the feet. He's a talented guy, and he's very physical. He's great in the clinch and all that, but I just feel like the guy leaves himself open all the time, and the Yancy Medeiros fight really showed that. I feel like if Carlo Peter Soli can take some hits, get beat up in the clinch a little bit, I feel like eventually he's going to find his stride and he's going to catch Cowboy with one of those nasty head kicks, man. So I feel like Carlo Peter Soli, as long as he can, like, it's just a matter of whether the dude is legit or not. If he's legit and he's a tough motherfucker and he can take some shots and he can take a little bit of a beating in the clinch and try to avoid as much of that as he can, I feel like in a striking battle, I feel like he eventually finds the chin of Alex Oliveira. And Carlo Peter Soli is a really talented striker, guys. I think he's just being highly disrespected here. So I like his chances to beat Cowboy at plus 330 for sure. So 2 units plus 330. I feel like Alex has a strong start, puts him up against the cage, knees him in the body a little bit, but I've seen Carlo Peter Soli go through some shit. And I've seen the dude overcome adversity. He lost the first round to a juiced middleweight Brad Scott, and he came back and won the last 2 rounds. So I like Peter Soli, man, and even in Brazil, I like the shot on him. So I think he can knock out Cowboy. So there it is. Biggest underdog pick of the week for me there. So moving on to the main event of the evening, we got Thiago Santos minus 145 taking on Eric Anders plus 125. No bet for me here, man. Completely unbiased. I'm trying to think of, this fight's only been around for a day or two, and I'm still trying to figure it out in my head, but I think the line's actually exactly right with Thiago Santos slight favorite. Thiago definitely has some chin problems. The dude's a glass cannon, and so is Jimmy Manama. I was gonna go big on a parlay of Livia Souza and the Santos Jimmy fight doesn't go the distance. I was gonna go big on that parlay, like really big, but unfortunately that couldn't happen because Thiago Santos and Jimmy Manama are both glass cannons. They're both guys who can hit really hard, dish it out, but they can't really take it. They have bad chins. But difference with Eric Anders here, Eric Anders does have a good chin and a much better chin than Thiago Santos, but I feel like Thiago Santos is the much better fighter, so I don't know if that's really going to matter too much. I feel like Eric Anders does have a good chin, but Thiago Santos has knocked out plenty of guys who have good chins, so I'm gonna go with Thiago Santos. I feel like eventually he's gonna catch Eric Anders, so I'll say Thiago Santos second round KO. I'll say he hurts him with the body shot and finishes him with punches to the head. So Thiago Santos second round TKO. So that's gonna do it for me, guys. That was a long one, mainly just because I had to go over some stuff at the beginning, but thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Don't miss out on any of this consistent content. One other thing I forgot to mention, the roundtables aren't going anywhere. I'm still going to be doing like 4 or 5 roundtables a year. I'm going to be doing my UFC 229 roundtable with Marcel Dorf and I don't even know if I'm saying your name right, bro. I'm sorry, but you're the man. And Max, Trademark MMA. I'm going to be doing my 229 roundtable with them. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the like button. Comment below. I want to know who you guys are betting on or who you guys are big on this card and or who you're looking forward to seeing fight. Just comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this card, man. So follow me on Twitter at MMAKelton, and that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you very much. Enjoy the fights this weekend.